Yeah, well, hello to um, another episode. I'm sorry I haven't done a video in a while. Might get dark because I'm passing by on the trees. Haven't done a video in a while, and that's because I've been, I must say, I've been busy with other things. So I apologize for that, but I'm back. Okay, and I'm just doing this just as a quick update as to what I'm up to with the stock market. So the stock market is still acting however it wants to act. Again, we don't control the stock market or its directions. The only thing we can do is control our positions in the stock market. So the way I have my portfolio set out right now is my main, the vast majority of the percentage in my portfolio is in a long position on Google. So I have bought Google. I bought it. I was selling puts on Google for a while, and then I bought it when it got to 118, which was 11,800 because I buy in multiples of 100, and I've been selling calls on that. Right now it's at 98, which is about 9,800. So it's down, but I don't care because again, income is the most important thing to me, and I know Google is not going to go belly up. That's for sure. But what I have done to hedge against that, or to hedge against the volatility or the drop, is I have two positions in the SPXU. So the SPXU is an ETF, an inverse ETF, or a leveraged inverse ETF of the SPY, which which tracks the S&P 500. So, okay, here's the thing. Google has about one of the biggest percentages in the S&P 500. So it kinds of move the same way as the S&P is going. So when the S&P is going up, Google is going up. When the S&P is going down, Google is going down, or vice versa. But they kind of mimic each other because Google S&P has a huge percentage of it allocated to Google. So in that case, what I've done is I bought the leveraged inverse ETF. Initially, I bought the SH, which is just the inverse ETF, and but the inverse ETF was not moving at the same rate as Google was moving. So what I did was I bought I bought that. I bought the SH for when it was 15, so that was 1,500. But then when it got to 17, 1,700, I sold it, and I was selling calls on it as well. I sold it, and then I used the money to buy to start selling puts on the SPXU, and the SPXU dropped to a point where the stocks was assigned to me. So I started selling calls on the SPXU, and so the SPXU moves because it's leveraged. It moves a bit faster than the SH. It moves in the same direction as the SH, but it moves faster because it's leveraged. So I have a long position in the SPXU. So when Google, it's moving in the opposite direction to Google. So when Google is going down, SPXU is going up, and when Google is going up, XPSU is coming down. So I'm in a kind of net neutral position portfolio-wise, and I'm still selling calls both on Google and on SPXU. And another thing I've done is I've started selling puts on SPXU as well. If it does happen that SPXU get to the point where it drops to a point where it's assigned to me, that's fine. So I have two positions of SPXU, and SPXU right now is about 21 or so, which is about 2,100. So if I have two positions of those, I'm selling the puts on 1950, which is 1,950. And if it does get assigned to me, so it means I have two positions of SPXU long and one position of Google, but it's still in a total of a net neutral position because both of them are moving in the opposite direction of Google. So, and I'll still keep selling calls on all three. So right now I'm selling calls on two, one XPXU and one position in Google, and I'm selling puts on one SPXU. So all this is mitigating the helping to mitigate the volatility and the potential losses of my portfolio. And the remaining position I just stay in cash, still waiting. I know the stock market is going to keep dropping, and if it doesn't drop, well, like I said, I'm in a net neutral position. It's not so my portfolio is not going to rally up if the stock market shoots up, and it's not going to crash if the stock market crashes. Because like I said, my strategy, we hate volatility. We cannot stand volatility. Now, if you are an options buyer, you want volatility. That's the only way you're going to make money. But we are option sellers. We are the house. We don't buy. Except the only time we would buy is when we're trying to hedge a position. So you see the way I have Google in a long position. If I want to hedge against potential drop in Google, what I can do is buy puts. So right now, so when I bought it, it was at 118, like I said. I could buy a put for 116, which means, say for 6 months or 2 years, I mean, the put is gonna, the duration will be for 2 years, which means no matter what happens to Google, at the end of that 2 years, or any time between now and that 2 years time, I can sell Google for 116. Even if it drops to 80, even if it drops to 45, I can sell it. So that's the only time we will buy a put to hedge against potential rapid drops. But besides that, but I'm not even doing that. All I just did was buy SPXU, and that is what I'm using as a hedge. And the reason I'm using it as a hedge is because I am still selling calls on top of that SPXU again, so to generate income on all 3 positions every single week. Right now, I'm selling calls on Google on a monthly basis, but I'm selling calls on SPXU weekly basis and puts on the other SPXU weekly basis. So my portfolio is still robust. Those are just simple strategies. No need to overcomplicate things. I'm not that smart, okay? I'm not a genius by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just an average person, but I sit down and I think, okay, how can I do this? What can I do with all this going forward? Now, if the stock market keeps crashing, which is good, Google is going to crash as well. All the other stocks are going to crash, and SPXU will keep flying up. And that's good. And then maybe sometime late next year or something, when things begin to settle down, if it does settle down at that time, because we don't know. If it doesn't settle down next year, if it settles in 2 years' time, that's fine. If it settles in 3 years' time, that's fine. And the reason that's fine is because I'm stockpiling on cash, and my SPXU will keep flying up. The only one that I'll be dropping is Google, and that's fine. That's not going to affect my portfolio by a long shot, because the SPXU is countering the effect of Google. So I'm going to leave it at that today, and I'll get back to you guys again. I'm just reporting to work now, running a bit late. Shouldn't be stopping here. So hopefully I make another video sometime soon. So see you all later.